Hey guys, I'm finally back from my hibernation. How long has it been since?
It's been 6 months, G.
Jesus Christ, I've been gone for that long?
Fat fuck.
So, for the past 6 months or so, oh my days, I've been focusing a lot on my finals and exams so that I can finish school and become a normal society member. Yo,
Useless crap like that.
finally back! I don't know if you miss me. I miss me. So fuck yeah! So to commemorate this moment, I decided to continue one of my all-time favorite series that wasn't a series, but now is. Dominic talks about something that his audience won't get because it's exclusively a European thing. Rolls off the tongue, I know. So as a wee lad back in the early to mid-2010s, I watched a lot of cable, as every kid should. I fucking hate streaming. I probably watched it just as much as the internet, probably 50-50 every day, you know? I watched the big three cartoon shows, cartoon channels, obviously Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, even though Nickelodeon at the time made kind of garbage shit, but that's for a completely different video. But there was also this one channel I remember watching a bunch that didn't reach this same amount of fame as the American channels did. That is...
I, the epic Megamax, join your squad.
Well, Megamax was created by a Hungarian broadcasting station as a kind of like teen-oriented version of its ironically older brother Minimax, which made shows for younger children. Megamax was originally created back in 2011 as kind of the sister channel to a different channel called Zone Club. What is Zone Club? I don't know and I don't care, but Megamax took the other half of its 24-hour slot to air their shows. After that, then started airing in other countries other than Hungary, being the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Romania. And then in 2014, which is right when I started watching the show, the channel, Megamax turned into a 24-hour, 24/7 TV channel, as Zone Club died in a hole. As it should have. So that's basically roughly what Megamax is and or was. We'll get to that later. Exactly what makes Megamax so cool, so special that you needed to make a new video on? Well, before I get to the shows, I mean, just look how fucking cool this logo looks. A bunch of friendly chaps at Red Media decided to help out in creating Megamax's image, its identity, being this kind of rustic sci-fi look, with bumpers coming up next, exits, commercial coming up next segments, and mascots being Iron and Sparky, which look eerily similar. Bumpers that the characters appeared in, either competing in a little contest or just chilling out, were always so fun and charming to see. Especially that one where Sparky and Iron are playing a video game, and Sparky gets so fucking mad at it, he blows the TV into pieces like a fucking asshole. I love them. I just love the vibe of Megamax. It's so... It doesn't feel like it's trying too hard. It's just great, honest. But here is what you're actually here for. The shows. Megamax, I would like to put Megamax's shows into 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 criteria. Number 1 being the weird early 2010s CGI show. You know that one show you remember watching that looks so fucking different from the others that it's just like, it's either really ugly or like really different. Then there's the random like early 2000s Fox Kids show that they started airing at the very start of their existence. There's the one that I think we're all familiar with, you know, the generic Canadian Flash cartoon. Because every TV service that just collected shows from different places always had Canadian Flash cartoons in them. Even stuff like Cartoon Network had this shit. Except I didn't have Total Drama, so I was kind of lame, to be honest.
Back when I was doing research for this video, I found this weird-ass tier list of Megamax shows with fucking Johnny Test and Total Drama Island, you dick.
Fourth category is the live-action show, because Megamax actually had a butt ton of live-action shows. Maybe that's why it was considered teen-oriented which I'll get to later as well. But I didn't really watch these, and later in this video, I'm not going to really talk about them all that much. I was more of a Nickelodeon live-action show guy. Hopefully one day I'll get to talk about Henry Danger and the Thundermans. Fifth category, the most unique of them all, the talkless cartoons. You know, those shows that have usually like a 2 to 3 minute length with very simple plots and usually like 2 main characters. Just showing up in between like bumpers and commercials. Yeah, Megamax had a buttload of them. Like more than 5, which is honestly, I can't complain. That's a pretty good amount. So at the very start of Megamax's existence, first of all, I love the little bumper that they played at the very start with the little counter. Sparky pops up, pulls a lever, and then fucking like a Megamax logo projects with all the shows showing up. It's just so fucking cool. You fucking Gen Alpha losers don't get this shit, alright? This is peak. At the start of Megamax's existence, they aired a very specific tiny group of shows at the very start of it, which are Iron Kid, The Invisible Man, Evolution, the Animated Series, The Twisted Whiskers Show, Metajets, Code Lyoko, and Quantum Ray. And out of those shows, I've only seen one. Now, FYI, I'm only going to be talking about shows that I've actually seen. So, like, no fucking Quantum Ray bullshit, alright? I don't know what that show's about, but it's ugly as shit. Stay away, alright? Lyoko was a weird French CGI/fuck-ass European anime about a group of teenagers going inside the computers and fighting off viruses. Very neat plot. Very distinct art style, just in general. I remember watching a lot of it. I thought it was really neat, although I can't really cover any plots of it. I really like the guy, the cat guy. I forgot his name, but I thought he was pretty cool. I think his name is Odd or some shit. It was always like really angry that in like the intro, the fucking nerd kid never has like a CGI model because he never goes in there. I remember I was really pissed off about that. It also probably was one of the longer running shows because out of all of the shows I just mentioned earlier, this was the only one that lasted after the 2014 era, which means I don't know what it means, but alright. The live action version of the show, which they had, yes, they had a live action version of Code Lyoko, which I didn't watch, so I don't have to cover. After Code Lyoko came another group of shows, Gourmety Lego Ninjago, which I find really funny because that's like a Cartoon Network exclusive show. I guess it only aired like season 1 and season 2, which is fine. I mean, at the time, that's what Lego was going for until they made Rebooted. And there's My Friend the Monster, which looks like that. Riveting. G.I. Joe Renegade, Ultron Force, Legend Dragon, Speed Racer New Generation, Zorro Generation Z, Kong, Extreme Football, Wolverine and the X-Men, and a show... sorry. I'm getting Musketeers, and fucking Erky.
Life was good on hot dogs.
Another show called Plankton Invasion, which I want to bring up, not because I've seen it, God no, but because it just looks really familiar. It's another fucking bumper cartoon. That's what I like to refer to, a talkless cartoon, right? I'm not going to cover it in this video, but maybe in the future once I talk about other talkless cartoons that I won't be talking about in this video, I might mention it because it kind of looks cool to mention. And then came Huntic and some Transformers shows I don't give a fuck about. Now, what do all these shows have in common? In fact, I didn't watch any of them, which sucks because that means I'm a terrible journalist. But I did say from the start, but this next show, I do remember watching a bunch, and it also lasted after the Zone Club era, being...
We are going to steal.
Max Steel is about a teenage boy named Max who discovers a funny robotic alien guy named Steel. I'm saying funny because that's his entire fucking character. And if Steel like combines with Max, he can turn into the superhero Max Steel, which is basically just Blue Beetle, but so much cooler. He can even turn into a giant fucking mech and shit. And all the episodes are essentially about Max going and doing some teenage bullshit, Steel being the comic relief, and then fighting some random like FBI agent or some shit at the very end. The antagonists are really strange. There's like a bunch of like evil steals. I remember that a bunch. I remember the gender swap episode. So yeah, that's something. After we got another group of shows that I couldn't fucking give a shit. All right, we got Spartacle, Casper Scare School, Dex Hamilton, Skyland, not to be confused by Skylanders, Rocks, some random live action surfer show I always skip because it looked boring. Free Phonics, Who, Dream Protectors,
It's Dream Defenders, you ignorant fuck.
Blue Academy. Holy shit, I'm a god awful journalist. Please, next show. I remember watching.
It's my movie, my superhero movie. It's all about
The Fortnite baba nesa lo bag.
So Mad Hatter Chronicles is about a kid named Matt who looks like a Goldie from Skylanders. I don't know why they're yellow. I really don't know why. Who him and his family moved to their grandpa's old theater. Where is his grandpa? He's stuck in a book he was this monster hunter who went inside a bunch of movies to capture a bunch of famous horror monsters and his weird like flashlight thing. But then he got captured by the main antagonist, right? So Matt came there to help him out. So he did the same. He put on his iconic fucking 3D glasses, which look so fucking dope. And then that's essentially the show. Every episode, Matt fights a new monster. He gets this close to his grandpa, and the show got canceled. I remember watching it a bunch. I remember when I did research for this video, it was barely even on the wiki, which I found really funny. So yeah, I found this really neat, like, I guess it's more of a video essay about the show, which I feel like goes way more deep into its lore. It actually talks about things all around the show, so you should definitely watch that. I really suggest it. Into the shows that I remember watching the most as we reached the 2014 era. This was also the start of me finally reaching consciousness, of course, so I remember a lot more of this shit. Like, remember Lego Chima? A lot of people probably nodded in disbelief that I could even mention that god-awful show. But I thought it was pretty neat as a kid. Lego Chima was about a bunch of different animal factions, right? The lions, the rhinos, the crows, you know. And our main character is Lionel, who apparently had a really annoying voice in English. Obviously, I didn't watch in English, but apparently so. He's the main character, and he's got a friend named Krager. And Krager's evil because his sister convinced him that the lions suck. So that's the entire plot of season 1, which is this one season I didn't actually watch as a kid because I was more of a season 2 fan. Anyways, you guys remember when Lego released all of the Series 3 sets in this one fucking giant box, right, with every single set inside? It happened only once, and fucking EvanTube had it, and I was like, damn, I'm so fucking jealous.
Okay, so he never had that set. He had the Fire Temple one, but he never had the fucking big box. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking.
But anyways, the plot of the Series 2 is all the animal factions team up, right, to fight some Ice Age animals, like the goat Mungus. Remember Mungus? He's so fucking goated, dude. You don't know peak when you see Lego Chima was more just like, well, it was Ninjago for furries, essentially. It was the show that Lego tried to, like, get people to, like, remove Ninjago from their brains because they wanted to move on, but Ninjago obviously did so fucking well that it overgrew Chima. I thought the sets were cool. I never had any of them, but I thought they were really cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna like this next show. I'm just gonna say.
Imagine if like you were everyone's hero and you just couldn't be beat.
Pac-Man.
Waka waka.
Gotta love that guy. He had a bunch of different shows, even in this new one. Is it a show? I don't know. But back in the 2010s, just like with every other mascot, they had this weird experimental era where they had to make them ugly as shit, and all the fucking millennials were like, boo, this shit sucks. That was Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. It was a lot more of a grounded Saturday morning cartoon where Pac-Man is good friends that definitely were always there. Spiral and the goth chick go on adventures stopping the main antagonist. Fuck, what was his name? Betrayus, that's right. His name is Betrayus. He's a big evil ghost guy. And his little intern buddies are all just butt jokes. Yeah, the show was that type of show, exactly. But I remember fucking loving this shit, dude. I remember like, oh my god, I love the fucking power ups that Pac-Man got in this series. You can turn into like an ice guy and like a bowl. I gotta eventually talk about the weird like every boss fight in a specific game video, with the iconic thumbnail. I gotta talk about that at some point because I remember watching the Pac-Man one, the Pac-Man Ghostly Adventures one for the game. So that shit is so cool. The show's kind of mid though. I watched a little bit of it afterwards, and yeah, it is. It is just one of those shows again. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but what can you do? Unfortunately, I do have to skip Stoked because I didn't watch that show as a kid. I did recently rewatch it as I'm a big fan of TDI, but I didn't watch it as a kid because I thought it was another surfing show. I thought surfing shows were lame as shit. So sorry, man. Next show is a little bit of a surprise. That's something that a lot of people weren't expecting. Something that was just so different. Just brings back terrible memories.
And we're launching, and we're crashing. Let's hit the pigs to
Why are the birds angry?
So as a kid, I was a big fan of Angry Birds. Not as big as PvZ, obviously, but I fucking love that shit. So when I heard that Megamax had a bunch of the Angry Birds Toons shows on there, I was like, ooh, yay! I mean, I didn't hear about it because I didn't have the Angry Birds Toons app. I don't even know what the point of that was when there was just a YouTube channel you could post it on. But yeah, Megamax had all three of the big main Angry Birds short series, right? Angry Birds Toons, Angry Birds Stella, and Piggy Tales. Angry Birds Toons was a lot more traditionally animated. All the plots are very simple, and it was more episodic, right? Some plots were about birds doing some shit, some plots were about the pigs doing some shit, some plots were about both. And it was just really fun to watch. For the pig plots, I don't know why, I guess it was just a bad guy, rooting for the bad guys, alright, but I thought they were pretty neat as well. Especially the sex episode. Because, like, of course, a guy with frizzy hair and glasses has to mention that show. Angry Birds Stella was a lot more of the lore-heavy show, right? Every episode was linked together. All the finales meant something, It was about Stella and her gang of gal pals hanging out in their big tree to stop their other gal pal who went rogue. That's essentially the show. I remember watching it a lot, even though it's the token girl show. But judging by what I'm doing with my hand, I don't mind all that much, honestly. Piggy Tales by far was my favorite, though. When they released Third Act, my heart fucking broke into 2 pieces because I was like, damn, they fucking fucked up my favorite show. How could you, Rovio? You dick. But I thought season 1 and season 2, which were both aired on Megamax, were really funny and really well made. It makes this kind of like computer generated claymation style to it, which was really cool, first of all. And yeah, it used the generic white void that every other fucking talkless cartoon uses. I still thought it was pretty neat, Every joke was decently funny. I liked how the fucking title cards in season 2 were like painted. That was really cool. One of my all-time favorites, and the one that I've seen the most, was probably the Doctor one. The second Doctor one, where the alien guy shows up. Yeah, this continuity. They do continuity in very small chunks in the Piggy Tales show, but when they do it, it's so funny. That's the alien from the other episode. I think season 2's episodes are slightly better because they have a lot more of a plot to them, so the punchlines are always like a lot more funnier. Because unlike the season 1 episodes where it's about like a pig finding some random fucking item that is somewhat related to like any other Angry Birds game, mostly Bad Piggies, obviously. But season 2 having like the pigs work on something and then fucking shit up is just always fun. I love the mech episode where one of the pigs turns into a giant mech. It's just really funny, gang. Enough fanboying. I got another show to talk about. Right after mentioning Mud Pit and Avatars, because I just love skipping shit. This show is probably the show that I think about when I think of Megamax. The first show that pops in my head. Which is a bad sign because it is. Almost Naked Animals. Probably the only show on this list that is somewhat probably jogging in your head because it also aired in Cartoon Network sometimes. It was there, but never promoted because it's a foreign show, but you know, Almost Naked Animals was made by the same people who made Fish Hooks, which is an iconic Disney Channel show. It's about a dog named Howie who runs a hotel where everyone is almost naked, right? And the show is essentially about him and a bunch of his friends who are also staff at the hotel, just fucking around doing shit. I loved Octo. I don't know why he has hair. That's really fucking weird. But I loved him. I thought Duck was a really funny character.
Broken.
Now just going back to it, he is the lol random character. I love the art style too. It's nowadays it's obviously a lot. I feel a lot more indifferent on it, but as a kid, I thought it was really neat. I just thought it was really like colorful. I guess I remember that one fucking Conroy the Cat video that they made on it. I was so fucking mad because I was like, oh, I love this because I was a kid when I watched that shit.
I guess kids still find the idea of characters in their underwear funny.
Because it is.
On rewatching it, it's fine. Nothing too special. I don't think it's like particularly as bad as some people said it was. This is the type of show that fucking Phantom Strider would bring up and be like, oh, this is disgusting. Oh, I can't believe it. It's horrid. There's Extreme Football, which looks ugly as fuck.
Wait, didn't I already do this bit?
Unfortunate, I know. That we also can skip She's Out, because even if I've heard of it, I never watched it as a kid, because cooties.
They made a review on this one as well. Actually, they made a review on a decent number of Megamax shows. The Ghostly Adventures, Max Steel, Johnny Test, and Slugterra. Wait.
Slugterra. This one's interesting. I remember I played the mobile game a bunch when it came out. That was really fun. I think it was an RPG. It's been so long game.
Fucking
But Slugterra, it feels like a weird mix between Ben 10, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Max Steel from earlier. A more story-based show about a group of rebels who have these little fucking slug guys that they can throw. They shoot out their guns and they become like big, powerful, and they fight and shit. It's a neat idea for sure because with these like creature collecting series, it's never long range, but it's kind of cool, you know. The main cast of the show is just the rebels again, which I gotta talk about Star Wars: The Rebels one day. It's just such a funny coincidence that everybody brought it up. It could have been this year's video. If I hadn't skipped May, I'm so fucking sad. I'm saying because the main cast has the very same like gimmick to it, right? Girl, leader, strong guy, comic relief. That's the main cast. And the villain, albeit really cool looking, I don't remember particularly being that like cool in nature, you know?
Guess who I found? Wait. Is that?
Okay, Chip, no, really, dude, it's okay. I got it all under control. Yeah, I'm pressing button. Ow! Oh!
Too much of it. It lasted pretty decently long for Megamax, his life span, so I must have watched a decent bit of it. I just don't remember much, you know? Unfortunately so. Next comes the only live-action show I bothered watching on Megamax.
Dude. You are the youngest person ever.
Mr. Young is a show about a 16-year-old teacher, right? That's the entire plot of the show. It's the entire like, oh, he's 16, yeah, he's a teacher? What? Super smart, boy genius, becomes a teacher at the age of 16. He has to teach a bunch of other 16-year-olds. And that's essentially the plot of the show. I don't remember much again. I didn't bother rewatching this one, honestly. But I remember really fucking liking this one for some reason. I thought the bully jock character had a really sick design. Which is weird because it's an actor, but alright. Probably the biggest talkless cartoon I'll be mentioning in this video is fucking Bernard. everybody, come on, clap your hands for the fucking goat, dude. I know I tend to always like make fun of him on this channel, as obviously just a bit, but you gotta watch Monk's video on Bernard and basically almost half the shows I talk about here, because some of them he did make a video on, because he genuinely makes pretty good videos, way better retrospectives than I can come up with. So if you want a significantly better segment on Bernard, just watch that video. But to summarize, Bernard is a show about a very temperate polar bear who wants to live life in this very eerie, like, desolate city where no one's around except for like the 3 reoccurring background characters. It's kind of fucking scary if you think about it, you know? It's very simple. Bernard wants to do something, he fucks up at it, he gets pissed off, then he dies somehow. And that's pretty much the end. It's pretty much it for all of season 1 and season 2. And it only really had 2 seasons because then it got a movie that was boring. Then it got another movie, which was in a different language, which was boring to make Bernard mainstream, but it didn't work. Bernard is really neat. It's one of the few shows here that my mom can remember ever watching with me, even though she watched every fucking show with me. That's why this being the only one she remembers. That's just, I don't know. I love the outro for some of the season 1 episodes where it was a little flip book where it flips between different credits, but it's like a different logo of the little drawing of Bernard. I always thought it was so cool, just genuinely. I also always thought the show was made in, was it the flag of Burkina Faso?
Because we're a team now, and there's 4 of us.
So I love Lego. I mentioned that a bunch of times on this channel. I think it's really cool. I thought Playmobil fucking sucked as a kid, genuinely. I watched a lot of Playmobil-related YouTube videos. I haven't seen the Playmobil movie. Probably shit, let's be honest. But the Playmobil show, Super 4, I loved as a kid for some reason. I just thought it was pretty neat, genuinely. It's a show about 4 different guys who are from different eras of, I guess, different eras of life, but also different Playmobil themes, right? Who have to work together to solve their own weird different problems from their own factions, right? Gene, the stuck-up, more sensible guy. He works in technology and shit. And this like little robot companion guy in the pilot. Like, that guy's cool. There's a night guy. I forgot his name.
Alex, great to meet you.
And I thought it was so cool. There's the girls, who I also thought were really neat characters, too. Fuck-ass, like, blue rat guy. I thought he was dope as shit. Genuinely, like, fuck-ass, amazing character design for the marketable character. Had sets, which, by the way, I'm gonna meant to mention this. Megamax's commercials were really fucking weird. Because then we're just like your generic like toy commercial or like food commercial like every other TV show had, right? It was only really eerie commercials for some of the shows' merch, and it wasn't even specifically merch because for the show that we'll be talking about in a bit, that one's merch that got promoted is just completely different from the show entirely. So yeah, and the only other ad I remember is the Diggy TV ad.
Okay, so I actually couldn't find the commercial that I was talking about, which is unfortunate, but it's not like you guys give a shit. I just wanted to point it out, you know?
Which was the TV that I was using to watch these shows. That was the cable brand, right? So I don't know why I keep getting ads for it. Maybe there's a reason why I fell off. Oopsie. I shouldn't have said that. Like Googling the website that was shown on these commercials. But it says very, very, but it essentially told me that it's super dangerous and I shouldn't check it out. So lovely, wonderful, man. It's just amazing, dude. Then we're going to have to skip the linkers and the wannabes, which, by the way, to record footage and just like to do research, I watched a lot of the Megamax YouTube channels, which they had, which I find really funny. There was one for the Romanian Megamax and one for the Czech Republic Megamax, where they essentially posted all of, probably most of all the bumpers that aired in between the shows, like promote new shows and shit like that, right? All his commercials were posted there. And there were just a bunch of like the wannabes, like musical segments as separate playlists on both the channels, which is cool. If I cared about the show, which I did. So, sorry. Also, there was a Hungarian channel too, but that one's very obviously fan made because, yeah, some of them were actual bumpers from the Megamax era, but then some of them had this very obvious, phoned in voice, which was just really funny.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys some lore real quick. The person I was referring to was actually YouTuber Benset182, a Hungarian variety channel who one day decided, hey, I want to make Megamax real again. Which you can't really do without the license, but he still tried by creating a bunch of social media accounts and re-uploading all the bumpers and commercials and shit, which unfortunately didn't really pan out too well for him as some of those accounts got deleted via copyright. Fucking sucks, I know. If you want to learn more, here's the original video by him explaining this shit. But I just wanted to say this as like kind of a footnote into Megamax's history.
In fact, while doing research, I saw this weird fan Megamax channel, which just made fan bumpers and essentially just re-uploaded some episodes of random shows that never even aired on Megamax. Like, genuinely, I remember there being like a bumper for fucking I don't know what it was. I think it was just Dexter's Lab, which obviously couldn't ever air on Megamax, which I find really funny. Zeke's Pad is about a kid named Zeke. Pretty obvious, right? And he's got a magical tablet, right? Which anything he draws on can come to life. God, I wish that was a real thing. And all the plots are about that, right? You know, Zeke's got a problem, whether it's with his bitch ass family, which all have colored hair, which is very progressive, or like other teenage problems. He draws some shit on the fucking pad. That shit becomes a mess. He has to fix it. I remember the gender swap episode.
I guess you could say he was Zeke's pad.
Pretty neat. Okay, so now I'm really pissed for some reason. So, to relieve my anger, I'm going to talk about a show I don't really like all that much.
Sucker, I'm doing important shit! Why do you need to install updates? What updates? Some more fucking spyware so the NSA can keep watching what I'm doing? Looking at my
Meaty, the Mooch Master, aka the Tapeworm.
Scaredy Squirrel kind of sucks, actually. I really didn't like this one. It's another, I don't know if it's Canadian, but it's a Flash cartoon. Very shitty Flash. Like, I'll admit, the animation for this one is pretty fucking shit. I didn't like the animation at all for this show. But what I really hate about this one is, you know Coconut Fred? That show that everybody essentially makes fun of and never gives a chance to because it's apparently a ripoff of SpongeBob. Well, this show, it feels like a bigger ripoff because the main character, Scary Squirrel, he's this happy-go-lucky guy. He works a generic ass a generic ass job that he fucking loves. And his neighbor, who's a weird parakeet fucker, right? He also works there, and he always gets pissed off at Scary Squirrel. His best friend, massive idiot, always fucks shit up for him, but he's always by his side. And Mr. Krabs is the main villain in this one, or they're like an owl fucker, and they're the mother of the Squidward character, which is different, but I don't care. I don't think the jokes are really funny. It was again generic 2010s fart humor, right? But this one specifically, I just didn't fuck with, honestly, which is pretty good because at least people respect me for this one. It's one of the few shows that a fucking Phantom Strider made fun of.
That is my second Ben 10 reference. What the fuck?
Hero Factory. You know it. You love it. I sure do. I never had a Hero Factory set in my life. I've heard of it before. I grew up in the era of Hero Factory. I just never cared. Pixels are just way too eye-catching for me to ever buy a fucking Hero Factory figure. But despite that, I did watch a decent bit of the Hero Factory show that was made by Lego at the time. Another Lego show? That's 3 now. Holy shit. Hero Factory is another kind of like, it's sometimes episodic, sometimes has a normal plot to it, normal like, concluding plot with a team of these heroes who are either controlled by this little robot fucker who never had a set, even though it would be really funny if they gave him a set, whatever. And they have to fight like some creatures on like distant planets. It's really sci-fi related and stuff.
De Quadrilnek miért nincs hangja? És az egyik karakternek miért olyan a hangja, mint az énnek?
Gee, I wonder why.
But all around, I thought it was neat. I remember watching the movies, or was it just one Hero Factory movie? I remember that also aired on Megamax and I watched it. I don't remember much from it, but I thought it was pretty neat, honestly. Then we were skipping Ghost Rockers, another live action show I couldn't give a fuck about. I guess I just hated music as a kid. Which makes sense, because this is stuff I listened to. I will never betray you, Nerdcore. Finally, we got to our first Fresh TV show.
I mean, it's technically the second, but okay.
Hey, some loops are fun. Fruit.
Looped, which is very obviously a Fresh TV show, because remember, every Fresh TV show has a random character with Duncan's skull on their, like, clothing, Looped is about 2 kids, teens, kids, whatever. They live together, which I find really fun. They get bullied a lot, they have to deal with teenage problems, but the main gimmick of the show is that they can travel through time. Like, if they fuck up something in the day, they can just loop back to the start of that day and then fix it up again, which is a very neat gimmick for a show. And I remember watching it a decent bit, I guess. I remember the bumper always popping up, so I was like, oh yeah, that show kind of looks cool. The only episode I can remember off the top of my head is the one where they parodied The Fly, which, just like the gender swap episode, it's mostly just because as a kid, I was kind of scared of the fear of transforming, which is really funny, because that's the fear of one of my biggest YouTube idols. But as a kid, I low-key did have a fear of that, because why else wouldn't I remember the fucking Fly episode? I rewatched this show after a while, and I thought it was neat. I didn't see any problems with it. I thought it was fun. I mean, I'm not saying Fresh TV can make pretty good shows, right? But like, mostly only like 2 of them are just kind of honestly. This one was just pretty alright. So we can skip what the fuck is it called? We can skip Invisimals, because looking at this bumper for it, I hope you understand. Megamax decided to air 2 of the pre-Lego movie Lego movies, being the The Legend of Clutch Powers movie and the Bionicle Legend Begins. I haven't actually seen these ones, unfortunately. I've seen them, obviously, but I haven't seen them when they were airing on Megamax. I've seen the Hero Factory one, but that apparently didn't air on Megamax, so I got that shit wrong, which fucking sucks, but alright. Hot Wheels. Dude, we're covering so many topics today, aren't we? Wheels, Battle Force 5 is a show that I definitely remember watching. Whatever, it was another action show about a group of people trying to defeat Ultron, alright? I know it's not Ultron, but in this nudes bumper, why the fuck does he look like Ultron?
Scream.
Whatever, I remember watching it a bunch. Maybe, I don't know, I probably just mixed it up with like Slugterra or some shit, but it's a separate segment, so yeah. Now this is probably the only show on this list that I actually already was planning to make a video on. Being
having a go? Think you're having a fucking go? I think you're having a fucking go. Do you know who I am? Must not know who I am, little fucking bitch. I'm the fucking file.
I rewatched the show on YouTube, which thanks to some lovely chap, re-uploaded all the episodes, which was really cool of him. Because I genuinely fucking love this show. It's one of the few shows I remember always watching on Megamax and being like, damn, that's cool. I love puppets. I fucking love puppets. Whenever, like, I don't know, Star Wars does puppets, I'm like, so giddy, dude. Like, again, I wish I could make a separate video on this show, because I really would love to. Obviously, I can't currently, because I'm doing this one, but like, so Stranger Lies about 3 teenage three teenage friends. Mitchell, the new kid in town, also big troublemaker. Becky, who's the big nerd, who knows a lot about animal facts and shit like that, you know. And then Templeton, who's a fucking alien, which I kind of hate, honestly, because I would just prefer to being the weird kid who knows a bunch of bullshit, because that was me when I was younger. So, by the way, best character. All his jokes are always really funny. He's like the good lol random character, which doesn't tend to happen a lot, but when it does, it's pretty cool.
The desk hasn't caught fire in ages.
I thought a lot of these side characters were really funny. The main structure of the show is essentially the three guys are fucking around. They discover some new mystery about this school, Strange Hill High, because it's got a bunch of like curses and monsters and shit lurking around and stuff. Every episode, and in every episode, they discover something new, right? I remember 2 episodes. One, which was the one where the Tooth Fairy pretends to be their cook to make a mouth, which then eats him. And the second one, I don't think I ever watched this one, but I remember being in the intro. I was like, damn, that shit's fucking scary. Which was, okay, well, it's that. Like, when I actually watched the episode, it's super silly, it's super dumb. I would have enjoyed it if I ever watched it as a kid. I don't remember watching it. But just that intro alone, it's kind of scary. And then my mouth is getting very foamy.
Let's go, come on, zip zip!
So Zip Zip, earlier I did a Sip Sip, is a show about a bunch of forest animals because the forest sucks, right? And they pretend to be those guys, right? To like get into a loving family, so they can eat a bunch of food and have shelter and shit like that, right? They're using them essentially, and that's basically the show, right? Every episode is about them discovering like some new like indoor animal shit that they have to go through, but they don't know anything about that because they're fucking stupid. I remember there was this like cat that hated them. It was the actual like the pet of the owners that accepted them, you know, and she was always fucking hated on them. I don't know if the show was good, but I remember watching it, which could mean 2 things: that I actually really fucking liked it as a kid, and or listen, man, there's a reason why I didn't remember shit like the Avatars. Okay, moving on to another decently received show. Well, at least better than fucking Pac-Man.
Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
And the salad is hot. How is that even?
Sonic Boom is goated? Sonic Boom was fucking legendary, dude. Sonic Boom was the revival of Sonic, right, during the 2010s. It's the one that everyone complained that Sonic's got blue arms. And Chris Chan did some shit with that. I don't remember any of that, but alright. I remember the show, though, and it was pretty cool. I thought the jokes were really funny. I liked the new characters. I fucking love Orbot and Cubot. Those guys are... I loved Cubot specifically. I liked it where they just introduced his weird-ass fucking clones. It was really funny. I liked Eggman having a really neat character in this one. He was just really goofy and funny. New characters having kind of meh personalities. Despite that, I really like...
Especially Dave. That guy's like me for real.
I'm probably one of the 2 people who actually preferred these redesigns, honestly. I fuck with them, alright? I think Buff Knuckles is really cool after skipping some fucking gaming show, because fuck no. I'd rather make a video on a Bizarrevarks, which I actually watched way more of than that show.
Who ordered the Kirk burger with the side of Kirk fries and a Kirk?
We're getting into peak territory. Ending bit of the video. We're getting to Oscar's fucking Oasis. Don't tell me that shit isn't peak, alright? It's about a fucking gecko, lizard, I don't fucking give a shit, called Oscar, right? And he lives in a desert, he's trying to find food, he's trying to find water, he's trying to find shelter, but he always gets fucked around with by a group of 3 misfit, like, Australian creatures. No. A hyena's not Australian. And, you know, Ziggy the hyena, whatever the fuck the fox's name was, Fennekin, and Bucky the Vulture, right? All three of them just fucking around the desert. They live in a fucking regular suburban house. Not even a suburban house, like a hillbilly house. There's this character who was like this truck driver. He always like sleeps. He never ever wakes up, and he's got this little Brian Griffin companion that like helps him out and shit. I think he's got a good reprieve with Oscar. I don't remember that really, but I remember watching it a lot. But rewatching it, it's kind of eh. Yeah, I know. Surprise, surprise. Hype to show up, and I think it's kind of meh. Of course, as a kid, I thought it was goated. Again, another one of those shows my mom remembers watching. So it's got to mean something, right? I remember talking about Leon. Let's talk about Leon, guys.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Same kind of gimmick with Leon. It's another talkless cartoon. This time it's about a lion named Leon who is a lion, right? He wants to eat a bunch of wildlife, but stuff like either the wildlife, the animals fuck around with him, or the environment does. He's got this little like bird companion that always holds his hair out so he can actually see shit, which is really funny. I like how he doesn't ever fuck around with him. It's just good. I like the art style for this show. It reminds me of something else. Again, it's really similar to the other bumper cartoons, but this one is just in general like a lot more high quality. It's more modern, I guess, if you could say.
Like 2009 is modern. Also, hey, look at that.
Endangered Species. Might as well like his name by the same people who made League of Super Awesome.
That's not the name of the fucking show.
League of Super Evil, which is a show a lot of people remember watching as a kid. I don't. But that's besides the point, right? Endangered Species is about three fuckers.
Merle.
He's really like safety. He's a massive fucking loser, you know? Clean free motherfucker. Whatever the buddy's name was. She's crazy, man. She's a crazy bitch. Gull. I fucking hate him. As a kid, I thought he was the funniest character ever because he's the law random character. I fucking hate him so much. And again, that's essentially the main plot of every episode. They have something they want to talk about. Nutty's like, no, don't do it. And then, no, don't do it. Don't you dare do that thing. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking kill you. Yeah. This is another one of those shows where, like, when I watched it as a kid, I was like, oh, it's so peak. And now I'm rewatching it. It's just... It's not, like, bad. But I don't like it really much at all. I'd rather watch League of Super Penis. That we skip a whole lot of live action shows that I couldn't give a fuck about.
Yeah, nerd. Yes, I am.
Nerds vs. Monsters. I can't recall a single fucking thing about this show. Besides the intro being peak, alright? It's just really peak, dude. It's about a school bus falling to an island with monsters. And they can't leave that island because there's no cell service, right? So the nerds of the school bus have to live with the monsters on the island, right? They befriend a couple of them. Wacky shenanigans happens, and at the end of the day, the main fucker always gets beat up, you know? This guy kind of looks like me. We got the fucking big ass schnoz and everything. But then there's also Nunchucks. Another stupid show with fart jokes and bullshit, right? The two main characters are woodchucks who like karate and shit. It's honestly a really similar show to Breadwinners, which is about two dumbass friends. They have a weird genie idol. That's all the comparisons I can think of, really. But I thought Nunchucks was really cool. I thought it was a neat show. I hate it now. I think it's made by the same. No, it isn't. It's a completely different art style and everything. I don't know who made it, but now I think it's really stupid. Now, unfortunately, we only got one more show to talk about before I get to some unfortunate news. And the show I'm going to talk about isn't really good, like at all. So that sucks.
This is the House of Horror.
Chuck's Choice, a very mediocre Flash cartoon. I don't even know if it's Canadian.
It is. They all fucking are.
Okay, it is Canadian, alright. It is Canadian. I still didn't like it, though. It's about a kid named Chuck. He's a little robot guy. and he makes choices. Very simple of a plot. Again, liked it a lot as a kid. But this time for a completely different reason, because we get to the bad news part of this video. So, the Hungarian broadcast station that brought Megamax to life, they birthed it, right? They were going to close it. They said they were going to close Megamax in the end of 2019, the 31st December 2019. They're going to close Megamax for good because of a couple reasons. One, it's kind of redundant because all the shows they air on Megamax, or at least most of them, after getting canceled, they just get recycled onto Minimax and nothing happens. So it was basically pointless to make a teenage-centric TV channel where all the shows could just be repurposed for Minimax and nothing would have changed, right? And two, people stopped really watching Megamax at this time. It was pretty big at its heyday, right? But now it's nothing, right? Not a lot of watches. I still kept watching it, but really only when I was bored of fucking Nickelodeon or some shit. So they ended it off with Chuck's Choice in 2017. And then 2 grueling years went by. I started to watch more of the internet, and it was gone. A Bernard episode, some bumpers, and then a fade. It's a fuck-ass Jim Jam. Get that fucking baby shit out of my face. What did you do to my boy? Change Megamax's TV number to Jim Jam's TV number. Jim Jam is another kid-specific TV channel. So, yep, there goes Megamax. Thomas never aired on Megamax. Why does everything that starts with M have to die? Even if half the shows on Megamax were pretty mediocre rewatching it, I still miss it dearly. I remember watching it a bunch. But what comes after?
I'm a dead ghost. Spooky.
I haven't seen any video essays made on Megamax. I've seen a couple of reaction videos and some videos in Romanian, which I don't speak Romanian, and frankly, I don't think they say anything of note since this video is 2 minutes long. So that's pretty much it, honestly. Everything good has to die eventually. Like me.
Ez a Fortnite-ban van ez a lovag.